All right, everybody. We're back to pitch sessions, and I found my final jury member, so now we're slowly all getting together. And I invite you all to come closer and witness and join the next 9 pitches from international stages, all about mobility and everything connected to it. Before we do that, same thing as we did before, we have a few pitching sessions during the whole days. This is our 3rd pitching session already, and it will happen as follows. We will have 9 pitches, and we have a jury of 3 members who will introduce themselves in a minute, so you understand who's actually judging what. And they will ask the startups, after a 3-minute pitch, a few mean questions, a few maybe just interested questions. Let's see about it. But we also invite all of you to actually ask questions if you're intrigued by an idea and to involve yourself. After those pitches, the jury will right away decide which of the startups was the most interesting one. And tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m., we have kind of our own Champions League here. The top 4 pitches out of the 4 sessions will present their ideas again, and then we will have a final winner of the whole knockout. That's it for now, but now I want to actually...
Maybe you can tell the audience what is the prize for the final winner?
Do it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Do it.
It's my secret or yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the final prize is on the one hand the honor, and on the other hand free office space for, I think, 3 months in Munich or Hamburg.
Right.
Yeah?
And as you already have the mic on, Simon, maybe you want to say who you are, what you actually do, and what are you looking for in the pitches?
Maybe I give the first word to my colleague Camilla. Camilla, please.
Thank you very much. What a gentleman. Hi, everyone. I'm Carmela Canonico, and I work at Ertico. We are a multi-stakeholder organization, and you all know us by now after 3 days here. And personally, I work in connected and automated driving, and I've been working on and off, mostly on, with startups since 2014. And what I want to see today, it's nice stories. Just convince me that your product, your solution is good, and it's the next great revolution in mobility.
All right, let's see if we have nice stories. All right, do you want to continue introducing yourselves?
Yeah, my name is Simon Herzog from Unternehmertum, the Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation in Munich. And we were together with my colleagues from the Digital Hub Logistics in Hamburg, the curators of this very interesting and inspiring startup area. So we selected from a number of international applications the 42 most promising startups, and we will, in this session and in all the others, find out who is the ITS award winner.
All right, and what about you?
Well, hello everyone. I'm Christoph. I work for Hamburg Invest, the economic development agency of the city of Hamburg. And we're actually very happy to have you here, very potential startups with really good ideas, technical solutions. And I'm actually looking forward for people that burn for their idea. And hopefully we as Hamburg Invest can support you on your further way here in Hamburg in the next days. And yeah, looking forward to some really nice presentations.
Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for giving your input for the startups and for helping them grow. Before we start with the first pitch, we do have someone else coming up on stage. He works at GraphMasters. GraphMasters used to be a startup. It's no longer. But let's be honest, after the story, how difficult was it? What are the pain points you can also share with the audience that might not be as glossy as the pitch decks you might use?
Yes, hello. Good evening. My name is Alexander. I'm from GraphMasters. So the lessons from growing up, actually, after about 8 years that we're doing this, is not only to get the details right, but actually to understand the bigger picture. Now, I'm an employee, and I don't necessarily know why somebody suddenly takes away a resource from my team to build bicycle routing. So I had to swallow that one because bicycle routing is actually the exact opposite to navigation routing for a car, for a truck, or for a van. But the bigger picture is that we have one of our products, which is Nunav Courier, which delivers actually about a third of all parcels alone in Germany. And some of the logistics companies, they actually try to deliver parcels in inner cities using a bicycle. And of course, you want to manage actually active fleets. So I had to learn the hard way, in a certain way, because communication in a startup or in a grown-up or wherever, in any company in general, is key. So as soon as I understood what the bigger picture was, there wasn't pain anymore. So that was one of my biggest lessons.
Thank you, Alex. And maybe
Thank you, and go ahead with the pitches.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Craftmasters, for sponsoring the area as well and supporting all those startups. Maybe one last thing before the first one, who's already kind of sweating and being prepared, is coming up on stage. I want to share with you guys what the jury is actually looking for, because they are not just looking for the next best story, but we also ask them to kind of pay attention if that idea, if that startup actually has relevance, which means, is there a pain point in the market they address? Is the market big enough? Is there a real meaning for the solution they approach? The other aspect they're actually looking for, do they have the capabilities? Do they have the right team? Do they have the right network? Do they have the right know-how? Because without that, the best idea won't fly anyways. And that's kind of what you already said. Is there a wow effect? Is there a vision? Do they actually do something slightly differently? Or do they have a new thing for the whole industry? Or maybe even a new thing for the world? Let's see if we find some wows in here. And that one is just up to the jury. I don't know how they do it, but they have some kind of bonus, what they like, especially what they don't. That's up to them. And I'll ask about that later on. But now, enough slides from my side. And I would ask you all to give a warm welcome to our first startup from the UK. It's Daniel from ANGOKA. He will talk about security for insecure networks. Come on up.
Thank you very much. Can I take that? Hello, Hamburg. Hello, jurors. I'm Daniel Ruiz. I am the Director of Smart Cities and Smart Mobility at ANGOKA. ANGOKA is a cybersecurity startup working in the field of IoT. We are focusing, as I say, on smart mobility and smart cities. It's a big piece, but I'll explain why actually there's focus. We were founded 2.5 years ago, and now we have headquarters with 20 people, headquarters in Belfast, but offices in London and in Rotterdam, The Hague, and in a few weeks, probably an office or base here in Hamburg, because this has been such a successful week in terms of engagement with the businesses around the whole event. We work with universities, obviously, and global tech companies, but increasingly we're working with ports and facility managers, harbours, regional authorities, because they are the ones that are seeing that there is an increasing need for cybersecurity at the level we're talking about here. And our goal is to be the global standard for IoT security, unlocking the safety and resilience that is needed to deliver social and economic and environmental benefits that are promised by the technology that's all around us. The problem is, of course, that by 2025, it looks like there will be 1 trillion IoT-enabled devices. That means the attack services increase, and the probability, therefore, of delivering those benefits is potentially removed, immensely at risk. That quantum threat is also increasing, because quantum computing, within a couple of years, will be able to eat through the traditional forms of security that are currently applied in 99% of the cases. We need a solution to that traditional problem. So we're proposing a paradigm shift, which basically means that with hardware-based solution, you can have devices that trust each other across a network that inevitably is not completely cyber secure. It is impossible to make the network cyber secure. So you can make the devices trust each other in a community of trust. This is important because currently, one of the key ways of protecting systems is to have third-party certification. Talking to the third party costs in terms of time, in terms of lost data, in terms of money, all bad things. So this is a system that addresses those issues and also future-proofs in terms of quantum security. We're applying it in a number of cases, very relevant examples shown here. One is, for example, where you have a fleet of drones. You do not want to carry all the systems in the drone because that adds weight, so you have to have ground stations and a control room. If each of those has the digital authentication unit in it, then that ANGOKA produces, then you can make the community secure. The same thing applies in a number of applications, which we can talk about if you want to. So conclusion, the kind of projects that we're working on at the moment are enormous, with companies like Airbus who are looking to us, a very small company, for that trust. And we are very keen to work on other proof of value projects. Proof of concept is done. We're looking for proof of value to expand into Germany and around the world. Thank you. Thank you. I'm told to come closer now.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the interesting speech.
It's a bit intimate.
Yeah. So my question is, where do you see the main obstacles in introducing your product into smart cities and smart systems here in Europe, in Germany as a whole?
In any country, the biggest hurdle is the fact that many companies, many organizations are only just starting to perceive the importance of investing in cybersecurity now. I've had conversations with your BSI, and their equivalent in the UK, the National Cybersecurity Centre, and they've said they like this approach, but and they think it needs to be introduced early. So now, so that when systems become commercializable, then the cybersecurity is embedded.
Okay.
So the challenge is actually getting in early enough.
Okay. And do you see the awareness
I have been
on the side of the decision makers especially?
Yes, yeah, and this week has been very affirming for me because I've spoken to a couple of dozen companies and organizations, including the Harbour here and HaLa, and introduced by your organization. So they have all said that they want us to come and piggyback on some of the projects that they are starting or have got going at the moment. And others like Sopra Steria, Siemens, want to see how we can embed our system into their products.
Thank you.
Very positive.
So, my jury colleagues.
Thank you.
Are there any questions from the audience? Also, the audience is allowed to ask something.
They're stunned.
Then I'll go next. Thank you very much for a very interesting presentation, and I do totally agree with you that we need to get into cybersecurity early. It has to be by design early. And I have two questions for you. The first is about your team, because it's 2.5 years, it's already 20 people. What kind of expertise do you have in the team? And
okay, we have a mix. Obviously, we have people who do nothing useful like me and do business development and build the opportunities. But we have cryptographers, we have software and hardware developers. And one of the things we're very proud of in ANGOKA, we have 20 people. We have, I think, 6 or 7 different languages spoken. We have a similar number of nationalities represented. And we have an extremely good mix of men and women, genders, let's be more specific. Including one of the 4 founders, who is German and is a German woman.
Then you already answered a couple of questions that I had piled up.
Good.
My second question is, you mentioned your technology is quantum technology future-proof.
Yeah.
Could you please let us know how can you do that? Of course, what you can disclose.
Without disclosing all the IP, so one of the other founders is also very active and has set up the quantum computing center in the UK. There is quantum technology that is built into how the devices communicate with each other and how they self-certify. And this, again, is why the third-party certification has been removed from the equation. So the devices can self-certify, which means that the community remains efficient as it grows. So it's a very scalable solution, whereas conventional systems, the more devices you have in your community, there's an exponential increase in the overhead. Does that answer the question? Yeah.
All right, and we don't have any more time for next question.
We'll have a
afraid of
private
that.
conversation afterwards. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Daniel. Thanks a lot. That was Daniel talking about security and all those interesting interconnected autonomous systems we see all around the fair. The next startup coming up is already prepared, standing right next to me. It's Luca from Italy. Luca from AnteMotion. Hello.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
You have 3 minutes, and we're looking forward to your pitch.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. I'm Luca Gasbaro from AnteMotion. We are an Italian engineering startup. I'm going to introduce you with our simulation tools for a safer and quicker autonomous vehicle deployment. Oops. Okay. So what's the problem behind? The deployment of and validation of autonomous vehicles requires billions of kilometers of road testing, and this leads to the fact that simulation is a must to be implemented into the pipeline. And what the needs of a simulation, or some of the needs, is the fact that you need a simulation environment where you can simulate your vehicle and your autonomous vehicle functionalities. But then you need a massive amount of 3D environments where to carry on your test and validations. And then you need to look after one of the big needs, which is neural network training and validation, because companies are spending millions of dollars a year in lived images from acquired road testing. How do we answer to these needs? One product is Midgard, which is our real-time render engine, and it's basically where we can simulate the autonomous vehicle, and it comes with a full set of sensors and functionalities. But then we do also answer with procedural worlds, which is an automatic modeling pipeline to get the environments in a chunk of time with respect to classical modeling. And then we have an OpenDrive generator, which is a tool to convert HD maps into road networks which are ready to be used into simulation. Starting from the last one, which is the OpenDrive generator, this gives us the capability to model from HD maps, like for example here HD live maps, a massive amount of road networks very quickly. Here you have an example of a 4 square meters downtown in Munich, which is modeled in minutes, basically. And interfacing and supporting databases like here, we can be very precise down to lane level, including a lot of features like elevation, geometry, lane width, road signs, traffic lights, etc. And then we can forge through procedural worlds the OpenDrive automatically into a 3D environment ready to be used in simulation. And as you can see here in this small video, we can customize very easily the sheen type that we get from the procedural world pipeline. And last but not least, the 3D environment we are getting is perfectly aligned with the road semantics. That means that it's suitable for co-simulation with other autonomous vehicles, agents, and also with traffic simulators or other kind of sensors. Last but not least, Midgard is where all this is used, and Midgard is our real-time render engine, and where we can simulate the vehicles and some of the sensors, and he's based on Unreal Engine, and he comes with a a good set of sensor functionalities, either for real-time simulation or co-simulation, like a radar or complex cameras, but also with the semantic sensors for neural network training and validation. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Luca, for your presentation. You would like to go first?
If I may, Simon? Yeah, thank you. Luca, thank you very much for this really interesting presentation. It's really, really good to see the advantages of your technology. But can you please elaborate a little bit more about what is your special advantage compared to your competitors? Because I know there are some companies in the same field active right now.
Okay. We in particular, within what I presented, we are putting a lot of effort in procedural modeling the environments, because there is where we see a big lack of needs, because at the end, there are various ambients where you can simulate the vehicles, but at the very end, you need environments where to simulate. And there, up to now, in the most of the cases, the environments have been modeled manually, but this is very expensive and slow and doesn't suit with the requirements of simulating billions of kilometers. In simulation, you do not need billions, but you need a lot of simulation. And there is where we put a lot of effort in procedural modeling and in generating road networks from HD maps automatically.
Thank you, Luca. And maybe one more question, if I'm allowed to. Thank you. Do you see any adaptability to different branches or sectors? I mean, I can remember my times when playing computer games, Need for Speed or something like this. Is there some entertainment factor in your technology as well?
This technology doesn't suit only the autonomous vehicle market, but basically can be targeted to any autonomous vehicle, even off-highway. Or, for example, let's think about transpallets, for example, no? In big warehouses, and it's a challenge to make them autonomous vehicles, fully autonomous vehicle. And there, the technology is basically the same. What is different is the 3D environment, basically. But at the end, everything sitting behind to develop the autonomous vehicle is the same. So. Tractors also, there is a big requirements for autonomous tractors also.
Thank you, Luca.
Good, thanks a lot. Unfortunately, the Q&A session is already over. And applause again from the audience, please, for Luca.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Luca. All right, after talking about gaming and autonomous driving and how it could actually be simulated, we now have someone coming up who already won something this week. And this is Paola from AuveTech. She was actually the winner of our yesterday evening EIT Urban Mobility pitch session. And I'm very curious if you'll continue that journey and win today again. So put your hands together for Paola.
Hello. Hello, everybody. I hope you all have already had some fruitful discussions about intelligent transportation. And I'm here to remind you that a part of the intelligent transportation is also public transportation, which in many cases still today serves an outdated commute and makes people dependable on their personal cars in order for them to commute in an effective way. And also, as to the bottlenecks and the pollution and the road congestion that the cities around us are facing today. My name is Paula Johanna Adamson, and I'm from AuveTech, an Estonian company focused on the manufacturing and the development of autonomous vehicles, one of which you can also see in the next hall. And in addition to that, we also offer a full scope service of implementing these vehicles into different environments. We at AuveTech have developed a solution in order to expand the current public transportation network and make it more personalized for people who cannot or choose not to use the services available today. It's there when you need it, and it can be implemented to the cities without any additional changes to the infrastructure. We started out in 2018 as a bunch of students with a goal of developing a prototype of a self-driving vehicle in order to celebrate our university's 100th birthday. We did that within a year, made some test drives with the shuttle, and then continued and teamed up with a bunch of specialists from the automotive industry, from software development, and today we are a team of 60 people. We have produced 18 shuttles and deployed them in 8 countries in Europe already. The solution that we provide is easily adaptable and can be implemented into different environments. We currently have ongoing projects in 3 countries, Finland, Estonia, and Poland, and we have conducted mobility projects for reducing the pressure on parking infrastructure and also filling the gap in last mile. So this is a solution to pave a way for the cities and make the first steps in order to implement a sustainable transportation model. Today, AuveTech is focused on passenger transportation, but we see that in the future, the solution could be expanded to a variety of use cases ranging from parcel delivery, waste transportation. And in addition to that, it could be bundled up with some of the startups from the room here today. In fact, we are already collaborating with some of the startups here today, and all this in order to create an ecosystem for cities to shift the concentration to make urban spaces livable and enjoyable for the people in it. So join us on the journey for future-ready transportation today. Thank you.
So, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for showing us your impressive achievements. So maybe one question, so the world is talking about battery electric vehicles, and I have read that you also offer an hydrogen-powered shuttle. So why that?
So in order to provide a service that is flexible, which is one of our goals, we have also introduced a shuttle with hydrogen, because charging of the electric vehicles takes time out of the operating hours, and charging the hydrogen vehicle is really fast, so it makes the service flexible.
Thank you. My colleagues?
Thank you for the presentation. I have a question, of course. So I have seen a few of similar solutions already out there piloting and testing. What makes your shuttle better than the others?
That's a good question. I will continue now on the note of flexibility. We have developed really rapidly, and we started out almost 3 years ago, and we have proved that the solution can be adapted really fast into the different environments. And the flexibility is also about the functionalities of the shuttle to make them relevant for the cities and the need for transportation, really. And in addition to that, the concept of the shuttle is a bit different. It's made to be compact in order to be able to adapt with different environments, whether the roads are unpaved or paved, whether they're pedestrian roads or roads for other cars. So flexibility is the key for us.
Yeah, do we have any remaining question?
Have one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the presentation. I think there's a lot of movement in this sector right now. Autonomous driving, we have heat bus driving in Hamburg around. And I know there are some issues with road signal technology, so you have to have a certain standard probably for rolling out your technology in different cities in the world. So how would you, from your perspective, say, how are you doing in this problem or in this regard?
Yes, it is definitely very interesting times, since there is no overall homologation for autonomous vehicles and how and what to really do in order to implement them. So we are currently in a very interesting phase of working very individually with every city and country in order to actually figure out the way to pave the way for the future. But I also think it is a very necessary process of changing the regulations and getting to a place where they serve everybody's needs. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. So we're speeding up. Jury, I hope you're still all pumped and fully excited to listen to the next one, because coming from Germany, the next one is waiting in line. It's Steffen from Peregrine Technologies, and he's going to talk about next generation video telematics. Let's see what that actually means, because I have no idea. Come on up.
Hi, everyone. So in 2025, each new car that will come out of factories will carry intelligent and connected camera systems. And we at Peregrine believe that this is actually a source to transform the mobility sector as we know it today. We actually started with the mission to bring technologies from self-driving cars that have been in research to every vehicle that we have on the roads already today, especially the eyes of self-driving cars. And we want to use it to address the three biggest problems, or one of the three biggest problems that we see on the roads today, which is actually to decrease the accidents on our urban roads, and on the other hand, to actually address all the processes that we have in mobility services, which are fairly manual because it's so complex to describe what is actually going on city roads. The third point is that data quality is actually surprisingly sufficiently low, and we can increase that with visual information and visual context. So what we are doing is we are building something that is called a perception system, and it has three things it has to solve. One is it has to understand behavior on the road. Behavior, how actually a car is controlled, but also how other road users are actually behaving. And on the other side, it needs to understand the environment in order to predict and prevent hazards in the future. So for us, it's not just about situational awareness. We want to describe why things are happening on the road. This is not telematics as you know it. This is not just a perception system that detects objects on the road. It's actually about the causalities. How are things playing together? Is there a stop sign? Is there a red light? Can I go? Does the other one has the right of way? You need to understand it in order to build smart solutions. What are we doing? We are actually building an analytics stack that goes with an intelligent camera in fleets, in commercial fleet operators that are driving hundreds of miles per driver per day on our city roads. And we analyze with this intelligent camera behind the windshield every mile they are driving in real time in the vehicle. On the other side, we can give them proactive information about risk and hazards that they are facing. So this all feeds into our fleet intelligence platform that we are offering, and it goes from risk evaluation to a performance evaluation for their drivers and the fleets. But on the other side, it also gives you an ability to teach the drivers and to have a better performance. For me, it's very important to stress that we all do this with edge computing directly in the vehicle, super lightweight. Actually, we can demo it at the booth. And this is not a system that needs to be integrated in a car. It can be retrofitted in the aftermarket. All the data comes together in our cloud services. And more importantly, because I stand up here talking about computer vision, we put privacy first. We basically remove all faces, license plates, and personal information, or we do not even store the data in the first place when we don't need it. But this is beyond fleets. This is actually also very important for insurances that operate and insure these vehicle fleets. It's also for geolocation services and mapping companies that need the visual context. This is just possible with a great team. We are based in Berlin, 22 people to date. We all come from the space of self-driving cars, leading companies in Germany before and Silicon Valley, and have great partners to date in order to make that possible. I just want to invite you today to build with us a safer and more sustainable ecosystem. And if you want to chat about that, you find us right in number 12 over there. My colleague Virginia is also there, so happy to chat. And thanks for the attention and being here at ITS in Hamburg.
Yes, I'll go first. Thank you. Who is your first segment of end users? Who are you targeting? The private person or a fleet or companies? Who are you aiming at?
So if you stop by at our booth later, we can see a video telematics system for commercial fleets. It's very important to address these people who drive heavy vehicles, light commercial vehicles and heavy vehicles on our roads in order to protect actually people like pedestrians and cyclists who are not easy to spot in these vehicles. So we started with that, and also these vehicles drive hundreds of miles per day in order to bring parcels. Especially in Corona times, it became more important. We have more delivery vehicles on the road, and that's why we chose them. It's transportation of goods, and we can help them actually to make their transport more safe and more efficient.
Then I go next. Thank you for the presentation. What would you say are the main challenges in the moment right now for your technology in your company?
It's a very good question. I think there is now a step where we move from classical telematics, where we don't exactly know what's going on. Just imagine in a telematics system when there's a harsh braking maneuver, you never know why this happened. Was there a red light and the driver was just not paying attention, or is a child running in front of the car? One is a very positive maneuver of the driver, and one is a not very good one, and you need to know that. And that's why we are saying you need this next level of telematics, and we can add this value with visual information. So the founders, I myself, I worked 10 years in the self-driving car domain, and we actually skipped that interesting industry because we felt like we always say self-driving cars are great, they save so many lives, but unfortunately they are not on the road today. So if you want to save lives today, you need to bring something on the road that actually saves lives tomorrow and not in 10 years' time when you can scale it up.
That sounds really impressive, but are you ready to roll out, or are you having some challenges right now?
You can order today.
Perfect, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Stefan. Put your hands up for Stefan. Thanks a lot. I don't know what you guys think, but I always feel like after such pitches, like they should all work together, like Paola with Stefan, then we had Daniel before. That would make like a lot of sense and solve a lot of issues. Let's see if the next one can maybe collaborate with the one or other as well. Let's see what Bart Adams has to do for us from Belgium with the most challenging company name for me so far. It's xyzt.ai. Let's understand what's that all about. Put your hands up. Hello, Bart.
All right. Hello, all. So yeah, we are xyzt.ai, and we do location analytics at scale. You can think of us as the Power BI for movement data. So we help our customers to solve their mobility problems by giving them insights into mobility and traffic. And we do so by providing a software as a service platform for big location analytics. The platform fuses and combines different multi-data sources, such as floating car, mobile device data, and also people flow and maritime vessel data, for example. For data companies and data providers, we solve the problem that they can now not just sell the data, but they can also sell the insights, the analytics on top of the data. For data analysts, we solve the problem that they don't have the tools really to use the data that those data providers are providing. And finally, now they can use connected car data and so on with our tool. And they can do that really easily and effortlessly. It's a software as a service tool. It's you use it yourself, so it's really a self-service analytics tool. It scales really to billions of records, and that's where we are unique on the market. And you can really take your data live basically by just drag and dropping or pushing the data to the platform. This is a customer of us, Autonomo. It's one of the major connected car data companies, and they are using our tool to analyze their floating car data and their events data. The data set that you see there is actually 1 month of their entire connected car data set in California in the United States that you can use with our tool. Second customer, Port of Antwerp. It's the second biggest seaport in Europe, and they are using our tool with maritime AIS data to do anomaly detection and gain situational awareness in the port. So as a history, we started the company almost 2 years back. It's founded by me, and actually we have a female founder, female CEO, Lida, she's here as well. We were lucky to acquire our first customer, Port of Antwerp, and also later the KU Leuven University. We were funded by a small amount of business angel funding. The next year, we onboarded Spire. Spire is a global satellite company tracking global vessel fleet and aviation data, and also Autonomo, as I talked about. We brought the team to 7, and we have now 4 international resellers throughout the world, covering Australia, India, South Africa, and South Korea. And just recently, a couple of weeks back, we were named IDC Innovator in the location and intelligence domain. Now we are currently focusing on really growing the business, and that's also our focus in the next year. The first milestone is that we want to grow the business to €1 million revenue, and that should be possible by next year. But of course, as any SaaS company, we're looking at recurring revenue, and that is our target to reach €1 million recurring revenue in 2023. And the next milestone, of course, is to reach that monthly, and that is targeted by 2026. We have a booth here, and I can give live demos. We can give live demos. We're with a team of 4. I also have a little surprise. I'm going to bribe the jury first with some Belgian chocolates before I take your questions. Thank you.
Is that allowed? Thank you. Thanks a lot, Bart.
And you get some chocolates as well in the audience.
Thanks a lot. Very funny.
All right.
So maybe my first question is, who are your main competitors and what are the advantages of your company? For instance, is Esri or Google a competitor to you?
which one was the last one?
E3 and Google.
Ah, yes.
I
yes,
guess
yes.
everyone knows it.
Yeah, so we come from the geospatial domain, like the founders. We've been working for over 10 years with companies like Hexagon and so on. So we know the competitive space quite well. The biggest shortcoming in the geospatial domain and those companies is the ability to analyze big data sets interactively, and that's really where we focus on. So it's a data exploration, BI type of tool. We have a couple competitors that are active in the defense space that are, from a technology point of view, competing, but not from a business point of view, because they are quite expensive to run in very expensive cloud environments. And we designed the algorithms to run on very small machines and scale still to large amounts. Yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot. Very interesting.
Well, thank you, and also thank you for the bribe as an employee of the city. I'm not sure if I can take it, but I will.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I would like to ask a question about your funding or investors' situation. Are there any investors on board already, or what's your situation?
Yeah, so we raised a small amount of seed funding with business angels. It's all smart money. It's all mostly former CTOs or CEOs of technology companies that are active in the analytics AI space. So we don't have a VC on board yet. Yeah.
Yeah, I fear that already the Q&A session is over. So thanks a lot for the interesting insights and for the good discussion.
Thank you.
Again.
Thank you, Bert. All right, somehow I didn't receive any chocolate yet. I think you made a major mistake here, you know. Thank you. All right, guys. Maybe about the next startup. Not all of the startups were actually able to travel to Germany due to the known travel restrictions. So our next startup is from Brazil, and I hope we'll be able to say hello. Yes, that looks good. Daniel, live to Brazil. You already say it. Hola, Brilhon Technology. Are you ready to pitch for us?
Sí, claro.
Sí, claro. In English?
Yeah, for sure. It will be.
Good. All right. Well, then your 3 minutes start now.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Before I start, I would like to ask you, whatever happens in the next 2.5 minutes, please remember one thing: Guido. So why is that? When I was asked to do the check here of the connection, I realized that in our Guido lab there was an internet outage, which unfortunately happens once upon a time here in Brazil. So I had to go home to my apartment to be able to have this conversation. And could I take a car or a bus? No, I could not. Why? Because traffic in Sao Paulo is a mess. Traffic in Sao Paulo is really horrible. We have too many cars. It's polluted. People spend like 3 hours every day, up to 3 hours in traffic jams. And when we had a closer look, why is that? We realized there's a lot of different vehicles blocking the road that do different things at the same time. Mail delivery, food delivery, Uber is a really big player here, data collection with Google cars. And when we did the math in our research, we found out that every hour, 6 vehicles take about 100 kilometers, thereby contributing a lot to the traffic. So what we propose as a solution is compound mobility, which basically means having an intelligent vehicle that can do multiple things at the same time, decreasing the number of cars in the street, increasing profitability of the driven kilometer. And this is Guido, a project we start here in Sao Paulo together with Uber. How do we make the car intelligent? We have developed the Guido Smart Box, which is basically a small device you connect directly to the car, and it makes you able to speak to the car, it makes the car able to speak to you, and this is how we create an intelligent fleet. And typically we are asked, okay, what's the product? We are not building only a product. We are building an ecosystem. Part of the ecosystem is the fleet of vehicles, but then we have the intelligence that is able to actually manage the different urban mobility demands, like mail delivery, food, and passenger transport. We have the connection to the people that we interact with through an app. And then, of course, we have the physical spaces where we deliver to our Guido drops, and also where we do have to charge our cars, which is the Guido charging station. So we are working towards an optimized vehicle with many small gadgets, but in total, the overall goal is to make the car as smart and as fitting as possible to urban mobility. So what we did, we put together the local hustlers and the international hackers, and we created a team to get started, and we are ready, and we actually dare to change Brazil for good. And I'm happy to answer any questions, because I know 3 minutes is not enough to talk enough about Guido. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. So in which state is your solution now? Do you have a pilot? Do you deploy already on the market? What's your strategy to enter the São Paulo market?
Just yesterday, we had the first prototype presentation of the connectivity between a car, the platform, and our mobile device. So there we're in prototyping phase. Business-wise, we are in the seed stage. So we are with some angel investors already, and we are raising Series A money towards the next 6 months. And our strongest asset, I would say here, apart from the team and the people that we have, is a close cooperation with the most relevant mobility player in Sao Paulo, which is Uber. So towards the end of the month, we will announce or disclose what exactly is this cooperation like. And with this strong partner, we are actually entering all those different things: goods delivery, passenger transport, food delivery, because here in Sao Paulo, everything works together with Uber.
So if you are referring to Uber, my question is, so why cooperates Uber with you and not, for instance, with Tesla? So maybe redesign a Tesla to the purposes you described.
We think that the optimal vehicle does not exist yet. So our intermediate step is to make an existing car. Could be a Tesla, if here in Sao Paulo and Brazil, there would be a lot of Teslas, but they are by now not. So this is unfortunately not an option. So we will work on transforming the existing cars to smarter cars first, and then long-term target towards like an own vehicle exactly designed for that. And it could be maybe a cooperation with Tesla then.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, there is a question in the audience.
What is your total ask in terms of funding?
We're raising $5 million in Series A.
How much do you have in your pocket?
I think about 20 euros.
Enough.
Okay, we can collect. All right, more questions? No, then that's it. Daniel, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot to you, and have nice presentations further. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day in Brazil, as it's only morning.
That's right. Thanks.
So, coming up for the next startup, there are 3 more coming up, 3 more very interesting solutions, I can promise the jury and all of you for sure. And the next one already standing there having something funnily looking in his hand is Lennart from ONSEI. Lennart, tell us what you have there and all the application cases that are. Hello. And welcome him with applause.
And there we go. I have one hand missing on my body to carry all objects up here. Well, I'm Leonard, I'm from ONSEI. We all here have something in common. We are here to we're looking for clients, for customers, funding, whatever. We're doing this by using our voice. We want to talk to people. We at ONSEI, we digitize, we automate, and we scale communication, verbal communication. By using ASR technology, so speech recognition, language processing, and text-to-speech to create the verbal word. We're not actually a new startup. We're on the market since 2016. We started by developing on Google Assistant, Amazon Alexa, and so on. But during the last years, we became one of 40 Google developer experts worldwide on the field of voice technology, and we became official development partners from Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant, and IBM Watson. Yeah, one of our first customers was the public transportation in Berlin, BVG. So we developed a system on Amazon Alexa to have their passenger information system on Alexa, so people can ask their Alexa, how do I get from station to station? This is just quick communication. That's the communication we all know. We don't have to pick up our phones. We don't have to type in some station names we all don't know how to write and yeah, how to do it. So these are like three branches our agency still lives off and works on. We have on the one hand voice marketing, which is the products we do on Alexa and Google Assistant. On public transportation, I said already, we have products with some car sharing companies, so you can book a car on your Alexa quickly within seconds. And yeah, that's so this marketing field we are working on. On the other hand, over the years, we developed some deeper knowledge of the technology and use this technology to go into other fields. And because not everybody's using smart assistants, and some people really don't want to use it, especially in Germany, we see it again and again, still today. Yeah, but we can take this technology and put it into IVR systems, for example, for telecommunication. So, we can also put it into web integrations. So we voiceify websites and apps. So you don't only have the graphic user interface, but within you have a voice user interface as well. You can yeah, skip over those websites and they respond also graphically. And now in cooperation with Fraunhofer Institute, we have the first German smart speaker, totally GDPR compliant. It's, yeah, as I said, all technology is in Germany. You can host it on your own servers, or you can host it in the clouds.
You have to consider the time, please.
And that's it. Yeah, we work as an agency with typical agency things agencies do. And there's some clients, and yeah, open up for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, first of all.
Thank you. Yeah, so maybe my first question is your focus on hardware development and production or the software?
Software.
Software. Okay.
Stole my question.
Sorry.
Okay, so you're a software provider for voice recognition and interaction. So if I look ahead like 5 years, so I can order my stuff online with your technology, right?
You can actually do it right.
I can also communicate with a bot that would advise me on what to buy. Is that
exactly
right? Or
yes.
what are like use cases you would say are the core use cases you are selling your technology to? Is it also? I mean, there was some mobility link to the Berlin transport system, but what else could there be?
Well, it's voice commerce is one thing we're focusing on. So buying over smart assistants, I think this is a field that's will grow more and more. We are into in-car communication quite a lot. We partner with BMW and think about what the next in-car communication will look like. So the project is Cockpit 2025. So we consult that company to have a well-functioning voice bot within the cockpit of BMW.
I have some time, I'll be quick. Your market, so in mobility, are you targeting minorities such as people who, blind people or people who do not know how to spell or, you know, or it's more general? What is your target, your main?
The main target is everybody that wants to use it. Nothing is faster than voice. It's our natural way of communication. We're just not very used to talking to machines. It's changing because our behavior with our smartphone changes as well. It was here and it was there, and now everybody using this. So we are used to interact with machines now via voice. It's a huge add-on, the accessibility of information, and for example, blind people, that comes with the technology.
Very quick. How does this link with mobility specifically?
It always, the first thing is customer communication. It's not very linked with mobility by itself. It's all about communication, and mobility is not possible without communication.
Thank you, Leonard. Thanks a lot. All right, now we know how to soon order the next Uber or Moja or whatever we all use here in Hamburg. Let's talk about a different topic. On the whole fair, you see a lot of autonomous driving. You do also see at the home port a lot of drones flying. Now the question is, all those new technologies, how are they actually coordinated? Are they really safe? And that's what actually our next startup is dealing with. Sebastian from Spleenlab will tell us a little bit how it can actually be safe to have drones flying around. Put your hands together for Sebastian.
Whoa, okay. Hi, I'm Sebastian. I'm one of the co-founders of Spleenlab, and I jumped spontaneously in for my partner Marian, which is a little bit sick, so I try my best to give you a short and brief overview of what we are doing. Spleenlab is a highly specialized software developer company, and we develop especially safe machine learning solutions for any kind of aircrafts, especially drones, but also air taxis and helicopters. We are founded in 2018. We are based in the heart of Germany, in Thuringia, but also here in the heart of Hamburg, in the digital hub logistics. And we are currently growing and have a bigger team than 13 employees, but these are the full-time employees. And we are working in several public projects, also here in Hamburg, in the Kojak project with the TU HH. And we have strong partnerships and a customer network in this field of future of mobility. And as I mentioned, we develop AI-based software products and sensor solutions for detection, tracking, collision avoidance, and also landing zone determination. And we had a successful demo flight on the demo area this day, and it was really cool. But I will come to this later. As I mentioned, we are a big team with a strong background in autonomous driving, and this is where we come from. And we thought we have to bring these concepts and ideas into the air. Mainly, we are many men, so we are also strongly looking for women which are developers and have fun to develop the new future of mobility. So what we saw is, what we believe, that the space over upon our heads is getting crowded, and we asked the question, how can we make this safe? So the answer for us is, let's bring AI into the air. And why should we do this for aircrafts and also UAVs? Because AI algorithms can solve complex tasks with human-like precisions in real time. So the data processing is on the vehicle, the analysis is on the vehicle, and so we can make decisions fast as people and mainly faster. And we believe that with multi-sensor data, you get the safety aspects best, and all our data is trained and not programmed. So as I mentioned, we see that sensor redundancy enables safety, and this is why we say different sensors have different strengths and different disadvantages. To fuse all the sensors with AI brings all the advantages together, as you can see, and then they exploit their full potentials for autonomous mobility. And I brought you a short, as from one of our customers. This is the nose of a drone, where we put a CPU and also a camera inside that you can see it's really small, and we can make real-time decisions there. What keeps us busy? As I mentioned, we are strongly in aviation and automotive, but also integrated solutions for any kind of customers. So yeah, that's what we're doing. And the products we have is sense and avoid, the ground truth estimation, and GPS denied positioning. I think with the semantic 3D mapping, these are crucial products you need for safe mobility in the air. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Feel free to ask. This is Marian. He could not be here, but yeah, I do my best for him. So yeah, please ask.
So thanks a lot. What are your next market steps? Or company steps, yeah.
Actually, we do many projects with customers, but we try to scale up on the market with integrated solutions in the aircrafts with certification processes, and afterwards, the idea is that we get out of the project business to come in the license business. So that's what we are doing and developing together with our partners. And we closed our first seed round last year, and now we are looking, or we are heading to the Series A. That's what we're doing now.
Thank you, Sebastian. Really impressive. What would you say made you or your colleagues open an office in Hamburg?
We have an office here. The question?
Yeah, why are you here in Hamburg?
Why we're in Hamburg?
What are your partners? Or
because we think that Hamburg is one of the best cities, also in logistics and also in aviation. It's, I think, one of the biggest civilian aircraft clusters worldwide. So we see that here's a good network. We are also working with the TUHH and the DLR, so these are short ways for us. And and it's a nice city too.
Yeah, of course.
And we also have this drone area now in the harbor.
That's all I wanted to hear. Thank you. No, seriously, are you planning on rolling out your research and development activities to other areas inside Germany or even internationally? Did the Pentagon also already knock on your door?
Yeah, we are trying to expand. The next step is that we want to open an office in the US. So because we have also partners and projects there, and then it's one of our next steps. But we are also working all around Germany. We have partners with D3 in Munich, Auterion. So yeah, we're really good. Yeah, we're a really good network here. So
sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Sebastian. All right, it's been a long day. I can see it, I can feel it, I think you all can feel it, but one person is pretty sure not feeling it yet. But I have to admit, I just saw him having a beer, so he's probably really relaxed. And I want to introduce from Starship Technology, Jan, I think, startup with the pretty much coolest merchandise I've seen so far. So come on up to the stage, the last startup for today.
Yeah, hey, moin, I'm Jan. I work for Starship Technologies. We are an Estonian-based company, and we create and build last-mile delivery robots, because last mile can make up to 28% of the total cost of a delivery. And this is how it all started. We started creating Mars mission vehicles in NASA competitions, and that's one of our founders. He actually founded, or was one of the co-founders of Skype. And we believe that in 21st century, the transport of things for nearly no money is needed, and that's why we came up with the robots, and we aim for €1 per delivery. Here are some prototypes that we started, and we come to our challenge. Because in Germany, we have still in some places no laws for our robots, but we have a special permission in Hamburg. But we had to prove that we are able what we promised. So I personally walked the robot for 3 years during, bad weather conditions, but I'm kind of proud of that. On that day, we were delivering for Foodora food to people in Hamburg, and we were the last riders on the road. The bicycles already gave up, the cars gave up, but the robot was still ongoing. But meanwhile, during the 3 years, we had to find a way how we actually can earn money. So we found our niche, and it's industrial sites. Because on industrial sites, on large factory grounds, companies have the problem that they have to transport samples, other equipment from a building to another building. And this is mainly done by highly paid engineers, and they don't have time to do their real job. So companies such Bayer or Merck, they are using our robots, have less downtimes, less stuff piling up, and actually they love using the robots and save real money by using the robots. So that's our business model in Germany. We have large fleets there. And so far we have done 4.2 million kilometers autonomously. We have done 1.6 million commercial deliveries, and we cross every day 80,000 streets. Here are just some of our partnerships. So Tesco and Coop is mainly the UK market, some in America, and some German partnerships. And now shoot me your questions.
And I'll start, if it's okay. Well done for finding your niche. It's very interesting because it's on private areas. But are you planning for the future if you want to deliver food? Those are small robots. Where will they be driving? On the pavement, on the bike lanes? And does it work with an app, I would imagine?
Our robots drive on sidewalks with max 6 kilometers per hour. And actually in UK, people do regular grocery shopping with our robots. And especially during COVID, the demand increased drastically. In Hamburg, we even did during the lockdown contact deliveries of COVID tests to people at home. So they did the test at home without having to take the subway or anything, and put it back in the robot. Robot drove to laboratory, and you got your results right away on your phone. So the future will be on sidewalks, but now the B2B model in Germany is working so well that we focus in Germany on the B2B model.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So what's the business model? So do you sell the robots? Do you provide the delivery service? Or
the companies rent the robots because we have an all-included package with customer service and also maintenance, and that's most practical for most of the companies.
And also the software to book the journeys?
Yes, and the software is all built by ourselves, so yeah.
Okay, very interesting.
All right, last opportunity for the audience to position a question if you have. No. Well then, thanks a lot, Jan, and put your hands together for Starship Technologies.
Thank you, have a nice evening.
All right, I announced it. That has been the very last pitch for today. The jury votes are being conducted right now, being assessed in a second with our smart AI called Annabelle. And after that, we will know who has been the winner of this evening's session. To give you an outlook, we have more pitches coming up. Tomorrow morning at 11 p.m., we have another session of pitches coming up. Some of them you haven't seen yet. And then the champions, the top 4 or maybe 5, because today we had actually 2 winners in the afternoon. The top 4 or 5 startups will pitch again in our Champions League, and I think that will be super interesting as well. But now looking at you three guys, tell me, give me a short feedback. How was that session for you? Were you impressed? Did you find what you were looking for? Maybe everybody in 1 minute, like a short recap. And we start with the lady, of course.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was a very interesting session, and there were very good ideas. Some of them need more work, maybe. Some of them need a better pitch. But yeah, I always really, really insist on to tell your story, because it helps. It helps a lot. And no, very impressed, very, very happy with the session. And I'm looking forward to hearing from also other startups. It's great.
Right, thank you. What do you think? Do you agree, or do you have a different opinion?
I absolutely agree. There were really, really interesting pitches, some more related to mobility, some a little bit less related to mobility, but I think all really, really interesting technologies and approaches to problem solving. And it's really interesting to see that they are all coming here to Hamburg, of course, to get together, to mix and to maybe work on new ideas together, which could actually take place here in Hamburg in the future. So yeah, very great to see what's happening here.
All right. Simon, your feedback, and right away afterwards, I know you already have the results. Please announce who's the winner after that.
Yeah, so maybe to be brief, I think what's really promising to hear or promising to feel is that Europe is in this very important field of technology still in the game. And also, I really like that this gathering takes place here in Hamburg, in Germany. And then I would like to come to the most interesting part of that, what I like to announce. So, the winner of this evening session is, so the first place goes to the first speaker, ANGOKA.
Wow, Daniel ANGOKA, come on up to the stage.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations again.
Thank you very much indeed. That's this is my first pitch. I've only recently come into the world of startups, having worked in government and bigger industry, so I'm completely overwhelmed. It was far easier than I thought it was.
Yeah.
And actually, no, being seriously, I didn't expect to get this because there's some fantastic pitches there and some absolutely amazing products and companies. So I'm very honored. Thank you.
And maybe one word, Daniel. You could also have done that pitch in German, right?
Ich habe es auf Deutsch. Nein, diesen Zeit ist es zu spät. Aber normalerweise
Next time.
Ja. Danke.
We can have beer together, then it's easier.
Thank you, Daniel. We see you back on stage tomorrow at 4 p.m. You earned a new pitching slot to practice again. And for everybody else who had a watch at the watch, it's almost the end of the day. So we're just saying thank you for visiting us. We invite you to have a look at the booths, come back tomorrow during the day, and also come back in the evening, because we do have a startup party where you can meet all those cool ideas and the people behind it with a drink at the Mojo Club. You see those flyers flying around, so just use the QR code and then have a great evening with us. And for now, have a good evening tonight. Bye-bye.